There was a time in my life when I sat on my bed, alone, wondering if I had any worth left. I was used, not just once, not just by one person, but over and over again by people I trusted, loved, respected. They took what they wanted: my time, my talent, my kindness, my body, my name, and when they had their fill, they moved on. And for the longest time, I blamed myself. I thought maybe if I had done better, maybe if I was prettier, quieter, easier, more agreeable, maybe then I wouldn't be disposable. But let me tell you something, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. Being used is never your fault. Ever. What I realized, and this was painful, is that people will only treat you the way you allow them to, and I had allowed it. I had allowed myself to believe that I was only as good as the role I played in someone else's story. I had allowed myself to be the background when I was born to be the main character. I had shrunk myself, dimmed my light, bent backwards to make others comfortable. Why? Because I thought love meant sacrifice. I thought being a woman meant being silent. I thought success meant being liked. But you know what? I was wrong. Being liked isn't success. Being respected is. And sometimes to be respected, you have to stop saying yes. You have to stop apologizing for taking up space. You have to stand in your power and say, you don't get to use me anymore. Yes, I was used, but now I use my pain as power. I use my past as fuel. I use every tear I shed as a lesson, every betrayal as a blessing. You don't become strong by living an easy life. You become strong by surviving the storm and choosing not to let it harden your heart. I used to cry because they broke me. Now I smile because they built me. I am not what happened to me. I am what I chose to become. So, to anyone listening to this, man or woman, young or old, if you've been used, abandoned, lied to, belittled, I see you, I was you, but that's not your final chapter. You are not the story of your pain. You are the story of your rise. So rise. Rise like your scars are medals. Rise like your voice matters because it does. Rise like your dreams are valid because they are. And the next time someone tries to use you, look them in the eye and say, that version of me doesn't exist anymore. Because being used is not the end. It was just the beginning of your comeback. There is a moment in life when you look back at the people you let in, those you trusted with your heart, your energy, your time, and you realize you were used. The pain of that realization can cut deep. It brings with it shame, confusion, and self-doubt. You begin to question yourself. Asterisk, was I too naive, too kind? Did I bring this on myself? Asterisk, but here's the truth, and it must be said loud and clear. Being used is never your fault. No matter what someone told you, no matter how they twisted your intentions or manipulated your emotions, the responsibility for their actions is theirs alone. It's easy to internalize their behavior as a reflection of your worth, but it never is. When people use you, whether for attention, validation, resources, or even just to feed their own egos, it says everything about their character and nothing about your value. Sometimes the people who use you will even make you believe you deserved it. They will guilt you into silence. They will convince you that your expectations were too high or that your needs were inconvenient. But don't believe them. Your kindness was not a weakness. Your love was not a mistake. Your willingness to give was not an invitation to be taken for granted. It was a gift, and if someone failed to honor that, the loss is theirs. It's important to understand that being used doesn't make you broken. It doesn't make you foolish. It makes you human. It means you had a heart open enough to trust, to care, to hope. And while that openness may have been met with dishonesty or greed, it still holds more beauty than the coldness that used it. The danger is not in being used once. It's in believing that being used defines you. It doesn't. You are not disposable. You are not just a stepping stone in someone else's journey. You are not here to be consumed and discarded. You are here to grow, to love, to build, and to rise. So if you've ever felt like someone just took from you and left you emptier, know this: they didn't win, because your strength lies in your ability to still believe, still rise, still move forward. Being used doesn't diminish your worth. It simply shows that you gave to the wrong people. The right ones will recognize your light and never take it for granted. There comes a time when you have to face a difficult truth. People treat you the way you allow them to. It's not a comfortable realization. In fact, it can hurt more than being used itself. But there's power in understanding this, because once you do, you're no longer a victim of circumstance. You become the author of your own worth. In life, we teach people how to treat us not by what we say, but by what we tolerate. When you constantly say yes to things that drain you, when you allow disrespect to slide, when you stay silent in the face of mistreatment, you're unconsciously sending the message that it's okay. Not because you want to be hurt, but because maybe you fear confrontation, or maybe you're afraid of losing someone you care about. Maybe you were taught that being nice means being agreeable at all costs. But being agreeable shouldn't cost you your self-respect. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors. They don't shut people out. They show people how to enter your life respectfully. When you don't have boundaries, you're not protecting your peace. You're giving people free access to walk over your soul. And the sad truth is, some will. You see, some people will keep taking as long as you keep giving. Not everyone in this world has the heart to notice when they're crossing a line. That's why you need to draw it clearly, firmly, without guilt. It's not about becoming cold or harsh, it's about learning that self-love sometimes looks like saying no. Sometimes it looks like walking away. Sometimes it looks like demanding better, even if your voice shakes. Because the way you value yourself sets the standard for how others will value you. You don't have to earn basic respect. You don't have to bend over backward to be seen, to be heard, to be loved. You are allowed to expect more. You are allowed to require kindness, honesty, and consistency from the people in your life. And if they can't offer that, let them go. You're not difficult. You're just finally choosing yourself. So the next time someone crosses a line, remember, you're not powerless. You're not stuck. You have a choice. You can teach them how to treat you, or you can teach yourself that you deserve better. Either way, don't stay silent. Speak with your actions, because the way you allow others to treat you is the way they will. There's a silent pressure in the world that tells you to make yourself smaller. Speak less, smile more, don't shine too bright, don't take up too much space. Especially if you're someone who's naturally bold, passionate, or gifted, you may have felt it. The unspoken expectation to shrink, to dim your light so others feel more comfortable in their shadows. But the truth is, you were not put on this earth to make others comfortable by hiding your greatness. You were not meant to shrink. From a young age, many of us are taught to be polite instead of powerful, to be liked instead of respected. And without realizing it, we start softening ourselves, not because we want to, but because we fear being judged. We fear being called too much, too loud, too confident. But the people who tell you that are often the ones intimidated by your presence, not the ones who celebrate your spirit. It's important to understand that playing small doesn't serve anyone, not you, not the world around you. Your talents, your voice, your strength. These are not flaws to be hidden, they are gifts to be shared. When you shrink, you deny the world the full power of who you are. And worse, you send a message to yourself that your full self isn't worthy of being seen. The reality is, not everyone will be able to handle your light. And that's okay, you're not here to fit into their box. You're here to live fully in your own. You don't owe anyone comfort at the expense of your own authenticity. If your confidence threatens someone's insecurity, that's not your burden to carry. Living fully means walking into rooms without apologizing for your presence. It means using your voice even when others prefer your silence. It means embracing your power, your beauty, your intelligence, and not dialing it down for the sake of anyone else's approval. You don't need to be less so someone else can feel like more. The moment you stop shrinking is the moment you start truly living. It's the moment you stop asking for permission to exist as your full self. And when you begin to show up unapologetically, you inspire others to do the same. Because your boldness is not a threat, it's an invitation. An invitation for others to rise to their own potential. So don't dim your light. Shine unapologetically. The right people will never ask you to shrink. They'll celebrate every inch of your growth. Pain is something none of us want, yet all of us face. It comes in different forms: betrayal, heartbreak, loss, rejection. And when it hits, it feels like it will break you. For a while, maybe it does. You cry, you question everything, you wonder why it happened to you. But what you don't realize in those moments is that pain is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your power. We're taught to hide our pain, to push through it quietly or pretend it doesn't exist. But pain, when acknowledged and understood, can become one of the most powerful tools for transformation. It teaches you what comfort never could. It opens your eyes to what's real, shows you who truly stands with you, and reveals the strength you didn't know you had. The very wounds you thought would break you can be the same ones that build you. Every tear you cried was watering something inside of you. Every sleepless night was shaping your resilience. Every time you were knocked down, a part of you was learning how to rise stronger. Pain doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to reveal you. It uncovers layers of courage, grace, and fire that comfort could never reach. You see, when you've walked through darkness and survived, you carry a kind of power that no one can fake. You begin to speak differently, move differently, love differently. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. You stop settling for less because you know what it cost you to heal. You stop tolerating disrespect because you understand your worth. And you stop fearing failure because you've already faced worse and made it through. Turning pain into power doesn't mean pretending it didn't hurt. It means deciding that it won't control you. It means using what was meant to break you as fuel to become unstoppable. It's refusing to let your scars define you in shame. Instead, you wear them like armor, proof that you've lived, loved, and survived. When you look back at your pain, don't just see suffering, see growth. See awakening, see a chapter that shaped the strongest parts of you, because your story is not just about what happened to you. It's about how you rose from it, and rising doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means it no longer owns you. You own it, you use it, and from it, you build something unshakable, your power. Strength is often misunderstood. People think it looks like holding it together all the time, like being silent in the face of chaos, like not letting anyone see your pain. But real strength isn't about pretending you're unbreakable. It's about surviving what tried to break you and still choosing to move forward with your heart intact. It's not found in silence, it's found in resilience. When you go through something that shakes you to your core, whether it's a betrayal, a loss, or a period of feeling completely unseen, you begin to discover who you really are, not when life is smooth, but when everything falls apart. That's when you meet the strongest version of yourself. The one who shows up even when the world hasn't been kind, the one who keeps going even when giving up would be easier. Too many people carry the idea that silence is strength, that not speaking about what hurt them is noble. But staying silent about pain doesn't heal it, it buries it, and buried pain doesn't go away. It grows into bitterness, fear, and self-doubt. Speaking your truth, even if your voice shakes, even if the words are raw, is a sign of immense courage. It's not weakness to feel, it's not weakness to cry, it's not weakness to say, "This hurt me." It's human, and honoring your humanity is one of the strongest things you can do. You don't become strong by pretending nothing happened. You become strong by facing everything that happened and choosing not to let it harden you. Life will give you many reasons to shut down, to close your heart, to stop trusting. But strength is choosing to stay open, to love again, to believe again, even after you've been let down. It's the decision to rebuild with the pieces you've been left with, and to wear your scars as signs of survival, not shame. Every day you get up after a hard night, every time you choose kindness when you've been met with cruelty, every moment you keep going when everything in you wants to quit, that's strength, and it doesn't come from staying silent. It comes from walking through the fire and refusing to let it consume who you are. You are not weak for feeling. You are not weak for speaking. You are strong because you've endured. You are strong because you've kept your heart open in a world that gave you every reason to close it. And that kind of strength, that's unshakable, that's real. There is something incredibly powerful about realizing that you are the one in control of your story. No matter how badly someone treated you, no matter how many times you were used, dismissed, or broken, you still hold the pen. You get to decide what happens next. That's the essence of a comeback. It's not just a return, it's a rebirth, a transformation, a refusal to let your past define your future. At some point, we all reach a crossroads where we have to choose between staying stuck in our pain or rising above it. And that choice isn't easy. It requires you to confront everything you've been through. It requires strength to look at the parts of your life that hurt and say, "This will not be the end of me," because healing isn't passive. It's active, it's a fight, and it's one that only you can choose to show up for. The version of you who allowed mistreatment, who stayed quiet to keep the peace, who accepted less than what you deserved. That version may have been necessary at the time. Maybe you were just surviving, maybe you didn't know your worth yet, but the beauty of growth is that you're allowed to outgrow your past. You're allowed to become someone new, and that new version doesn't have to carry the weight of who you used to be. A comeback doesn't mean you forget what happened. It means you stop letting it control you. It means the same pain that tried to destroy you becomes the reason you rise stronger. It means turning every no you ever heard into motivation, every failure into a lesson, and every heartbreak into a deeper understanding of your own strength. You are not powerless. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not stuck in a story someone else wrote for you. You have the power to rewrite the narrative, to change the direction, and to redefine your worth on your own terms. And you don't need anyone's permission to do so. So when you look at your reflection and feel the weight of everything you've been through, remember this: your comeback is not waiting on the world to change. It's waiting on you to believe that you're capable of more. And you are. The person who was used may be part of your past, but the person you're becoming, stronger, wiser, fearless, is entirely your creation. You are the author of your rise, and this is just the beginning.